Hi there, I'm Vincent Boss and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing rebound relationships. I provide audio and email coaching to help people try and get their ex back or get a new girlfriend or boyfriend. Check out my website for more details, www.dateme.tips. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. So now let's get back into today's podcast, and today we are discussing rebound relationships. So I am often asked questions about rebound relationships, and hence I thought today I would do a podcast describing what I believe are the common characteristics of a rebound relationship. Of course, this is just my theory of how I believe the average rebound relationship looks like, and this may differ from what other people believe. But without further ado, we're going to get straight into this, and I will be describing my theory of the main points, main characteristics of what a rebound relationship will likely showcase. So number one is rebound relationships start within a few months of a breakup. So this is probably the most common theory of what a rebound relationship looks like. The most commonly known characteristic is that a rebound relationship will start very soon after a breakup. And in my belief, that can go up to probably a few months after the previous relationship ended. So if you know of somebody, maybe it's your ex, or maybe this is yourself and you're really taking a look at yourself right now in the mirror and wondering what type of relationship you are in right now. If you yourself, or if you know somebody who has got into a relationship within a matter of months after a previous relationship, after a breakup, then this is a sign, this is a red flag that this might indeed be a rebound relationship. So that's the most obvious clue, you might say, and something very important to take note of if this is within your world, if you are looking at yourself right now, if you are thinking of other people, possibly an ex. If they have got into a relationship very soon after a breakup, then this is the biggest and first symbol, first sign that this may be a rebound relationship. So point number two is that rebound relationships move forward at tremendous speed. So another major red flag for a rebound relationship is that this new relationship, this new connection moves at tremendous speed. And there can be many ways that this could be represented and showcased, but one of the ways I like to try to describe it is if we was to consider an ex. Okay, so imagine a situation where you was in a relationship with somebody, and when you was in a relationship with them, it took you maybe 9 months or a year to go on a holiday together. Maybe it took you a long time, really, 9 months to a year or so before you went away on holiday together and you had some time together away from your houses and you was on holiday. Okay, so maybe that was 9 months to a year, and all of a sudden you find out that your ex is now with somebody new, and literally within a month they are now going on holiday together. Okay, that would be an example of how a rebound relationship could move forward at tremendous speed. Other examples might be that they move in with each other very, very quickly. You see, all of these are clues as to why a rebound relationship will probably end up the way that they generally do. But we will get into that as we move forward with today's podcast. But as you can see, they've started very soon after a breakup, and they are now moving at tremendous speed. Now, the reason they actually move at such a pace is because that the person who has got involved in this rebound relationship, the person who was previously in a relationship, had a breakup and very quickly got into a new relationship, they are trying to hold on to elements of that previous relationship. So let's, for instance, say they was a dumper. They ended the relationship because they was not happy with certain elements of that relationship. But that doesn't mean that they were unhappy with everything within the relationship. There might have been certain parts that they really enjoyed, and they might be the parts that they are really missing right now. It could be the holidays. It could be the closeness of living with someone. It could be various other examples. And because of this, in a rebound relationship, this will move very quickly because they're basically trying to say, look, I just want to grab hold of those elements that I really, really liked. I want to hold on to those elements. So I'm not going to go through the general procedure of getting to know somebody before we get to this point. I'm just going to grab hold of them. We're just going to get this right away because I want this now, because I really, really miss this element. And that is why rebound relationships will often move very, very fast, because the person who was previously in a relationship, the person who was jumped into a new relationship very, very soon after, is trying to hold on to certain parts of their old relationship. So based around that, it is probably easier to understand that a breakup takes place, somebody moves into a new relationship very, very quickly. And because of this, they're not really being able to get to know this new person. Okay, so a rebound relationship will actually involve somebody having a relationship first and getting to know the other person secondary. So in normal circumstances, you get to know somebody and then you progress the relationship over time at a steady pace. A rebound relationship doesn't follow this route. A rebound relationship will showcase people having the relationship first, then getting to know each other on the job, you might say. Okay, so it's almost like learning on the job. It's like you're having the relationship, all of a sudden, things are seeming very, very serious, very, very quickly. And they're getting to know each other then, instead of getting to know each other first and then having the relationship. They're having the relationship, they're having the seriousness, they're going on holiday, they might be living with each other. Various other things are taking place very quickly, but they are actually still not really knowing each other fully. And how could they? It's been very soon. It might have only been weeks, if not maybe a few months. There's no way they could know each other enough to be together at this level that they have actually taken themselves to. So now let's move into point number 3. And that is that rebounds can evolve into a more solid relationship, but generally don't. So in my opinion, a rebound relationship is generally characterized by the fact that it will explode as quickly as it starts. And we will be getting more into that in the following and final point of today's podcast. But just to speak in general about point number 3, there is a chance that a rebound relationship can evolve into a more solid relationship, but it generally won't. The odds are stacked against it by the very virtue of the type of relationship which is taking place. However, it is possible. It is possible that some rebound relationships will turn into something more substantial and will in essence become a regular standard relationship. The odds are stacked against it, but it is possible. If you are somebody who acknowledges that you are experiencing all of these characteristics and thinking, does this mean my current relationship will end? Not necessarily. Some rebound relationships can evolve, but the odds are stacked against you, and we will be speaking about that in the final point very shortly. But it is possible that it can evolve into something more substantial and something which will last long term. So again, flipping this around, if you're thinking maybe about your ex and you think, okay, it seems like my ex is probably in a rebound relationship, does this mean that it will end suddenly? Well, the likelihood is that it will, but not necessarily. And that is why I always say, as a dumpy, you should not be waiting around for your ex. There is no 100% guaranteed way to get your ex back. You should not be clock watching. You should be moving forward with your life, because even though you might think your ex is in a rebound relationship, there is always that chance that it might become something more substantial and last the long term. Even if it doesn't, And even if it ends like mainly rebound relationships do, that doesn't mean they're necessarily going to come back to you, although you always have that opportunity if they break up. I've done various podcasts on how you can try and enhance your chances of getting your ex back. So if that is something that you wish to try to achieve, then you might want to check out the rest of the podcasts that I've done on that subject. Make sure you subscribe and ring the bell for notifications of future content. So now let's move into point number 4 and the final element and characteristic of a rebound relationship, in my opinion, and that is that a rebound relationship will likely end within months of starting. So linking in with point number 3 that we've just spoke about, most rebound relationships will end within months. They won't tick past that year point. And the reason for this is what we've been speaking about throughout really in today's podcast, because the people have got together without knowing each other properly. The odds are that they are not compatible long term. If you think of it another way, if you think of a situation where you are trying to get to know new people, maybe you are online dating and you are messaging various people and maybe you're meeting various people, it is very unlikely that you are going to have a long-term forever relationship with one of these first few people that you speak with, because the odds are stacked against it. The likelihood is that if you get to know somebody new, they will not be compatible with you long term. Some people believe that you only have one soulmate. Some people believe that there are a few different people that you could manage a long-term relationship with, but a few people is not most people. It's not a lot of people. And the likelihood is that if you interact with somebody new, they are not going to be compatible with you. So when you consider that a rebound relationship has involved two people getting to know each other on the job because they've jumped into a relationship almost instantly, the chances of them being compatible are minimal. Rebound relationships will likely end within months. They will never tick past that year. And hence that is the final characteristic of a rebound relationship, that it ends very quickly. It ends with an explosion, just as it started. It started with a bang, it ends with a bang, very quick, very fast paced, and the whole thing ends before you know it, just as it started, before anybody realised. If you believe that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.
Yeah, if you miss your ex, we can help with that. Help you get him back, or we can help find you someone else. Yeah, Vincent Bo, the relationship coach, giving you some insight, bringing you a new approach. DateMe.tips, go and check the site, giving you advice, helping with your love life. Get your ex back, or move to the next. Ain't no sweat, you know Vincent Bo got you. Finding love ain't no problem. Yeah, DateMe.tips, check it out now.